Hello and welcome to Pura's weekly trading digest. Let's start with a brief overview of what was happening this week in the commodities markets. The upcoming WASDE report for March, scheduled for release next week, may prove to be a reliable source of support for grain futures until it is released. Last month's WASDE report included some changes to the outlook for corn and soybean production in Brazil and Argentina, and traders expect further changes from the USDA. However, that bull run appears to be returning, in part due to uncertainty over Russia ahead of the expiration of the Black Sea grain deal in a little over 2 weeks. Traders see Russia's possible withdrawal from the grain deal not only as a constraint on export markets but also as a sign of renewed bottlenecks in fertilizer shipments. We need to focus on their price movements soon again. Corn. May corn was down 1.5 cents to $6.34 a bushel after the US Energy Department DOE reported a slight drop in ethanol production last week to 1.003 million barrels per day, enough to keep the 2022-23 total up 1% from a year ago at this time. US ethanol inventory fell down 25.6 to 24.8 million barrels, an encouraging sign of demand that also strengthened along with an increase in last week's gasoline demand, although that effect might be transitory and largely due to snow condition in the US's southwest. Soybean. At Thursday's March 2nd close, May soybean prices were up 15.5 cents to $15.09 per half a bushel on the Chicago Board of Trade, added to earlier gains while being backed by profitable crush margins that weren't disturbed much by Tuesday's downward price correction. USDA's new export sales report also indicated that soybean fared the worst, with old crop sales fading to a marketing year low. Soybean export sales hit a marketing year low in late February, the US Agricultural Department reported Thursday. For the week ended February 23rd, export sales of soybeans totaled 360,700 metric tons during the 2022-23 marketing year, the lowest weekly level for the year. Additional sales of 134,000 tons were reported for the 2023-24 marketing year. Wheat. Wheat for May delivery climbed 0.4% to $7.13 a bushel during the week. Wheat exports only reached 11.1 million bushels last week, although old crop sales improved 39% compared to the prior 4-week average. Analysts generally expected a bigger haul, with trade guesses ranging between 5.5 million and 25.7 million bushels. Cumulative sales for the 2022-23 marketing year are slightly below last year's pace so far, with 511.1 million bushels. Wheat export shipments were so far stronger, but the main driver here is the above-mentioned concerns about the Black Sea grain deal, climbing 30% above the prior 4-week average to 22.4 million bushels. Iraq, South Korea, Mexico, Japan, and Indonesia were the top 5 destinations. Egypt's tender for April 1 to 15 shipment was filled by 240,000 MT of Russian wheat. Turkey is tendering for 790,000 MT of milling wheat. Raw cane sugar. May raw sugar SPK3 settled 0.26 cents or 1.3% lower at 20.31 cents per pound, retreating from a contract high of 20.65 cents touched on Wednesday. May white sugar LSUC1 settled $3.10 or 0.5% lower at $572.80 a ton after climbing to a contract 1-month high of $580. Traders expect the market to remain focused on the outlook for production in India, with prices likely to rise if the outlook deteriorates further after unfavorable weather conditions in India's top producing state of Maharashtra. More than 20 sugar mills in Maharashtra had stopped crushing cane by the end of February, almost 2 months earlier than last year, a senior government official said. According to the state sugar monopoly AZ Cuba, Cuba is entering the final 6 weeks of its best sugar season, cutting 95,000 tons less than planned to reach the historically low target of 455,000 tons of raw product. At the start of the harvest, the company said 400,000 tons were for domestic consumption and rest for export. The question now appears to be whether the industry will top 400,000 tons, with Reuters estimating output at just 60% to 70% of expectations based on provincial media reports. The last time Cuba produced less than 400,000 tons was in 1900. Summary and forecast. A new interesting story is developing in raw cane sugar amidst report of low planting in Cuba and some other typical sugar cane growing regions. Sugar substitutes such as stevia showed only a limited replacement levels globally. Wheat will likely escalate premiums going forward on the back of uncertainty over continuation of the Black Sea grain deal beyond March.